Okay, hello everyone and welcome to this brand new YouTube video. My name is Adam Gittings. I'm a personal trainer with Aspergers Syndrome and Autism. So today the topic of this video is making friends with Aspergers Syndrome and Autism. So how to do that, why people on the spectrum might struggle with that, and what you can do to get around that and make more friends. So like I say, this isn't going to always be the case for everyone. You're not always going to make friends off of this. However, I have got some good tips and suggestions on what might work, and as someone with Asperger's and Autism myself, I want to help people to do that. So stick around for this video. If you're enjoying it, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. That'd be much greatly appreciated, and click the link below to find all of my other social media channels. Anyway, that's enough waffling about that stuff. Let's get into today's video. Right, so I'm going to get this out of the way so then we can kind of focus on the stuff that you can do. So these are just a few reasons why people on the spectrum might struggle with making friends and stuff like that. Like I say, we do tend to find it tougher, some more than others, but a lot of people do find it a lot harder to make friends. So I'm going to go through just a few of the reasons why, just to start off with, and then we'll get into what you can do. So one of the first things is we do like our own space a lot of the times. So a lot of times we can be very content with like being on our own and maybe doing our own thing, so to speak. So it's kind of less want to go out and socialise because a lot of people can be more happy in their own company, which there's nothing wrong with that. Like a lot of people who aren't on the spectrum wish that they could be more comfy in their own company, but like I say, it's just one of the things. Another reason could be we might not understand social cues as well. So sarcasm or like facial expressions, for example. So for people who are not on the spectrum, like they might understand these a lot better. Whereas like if someone's being sarcastic, we might not get that as much. Like for example, I've got a friend who like puts a joke in every message when messages. I might not understand that every time. Sometimes I'm like, are you joking or are you being serious? I'll struggle to pick up on that as much. But like I say, it's different for different people. But that is another reason. So one of the reasons that has affected me personally, this is the people that I'm most close to. I can sometimes be quite clingy to them people. So what I mean by that is not like grab them, not let go, but as in like when they're around, I'll always like be with them, hang around them, talk to them, instead of other people. And sometimes like, they might not understand that, and they might be like, oh, you're not spoke to them for a while, like try to divert you away from them. It's not because they don't want to talk to you, it's just because you're talking to them all the time and you need to give them some space. So like, I don't always recognise that, and I can get upset when people might tell me that. But a lot of times I don't realise I'm doing it. Okay, so I've only got two more, and then we'll move on to what we can do. So another one might be trauma. So a lot of times, like I say, a lot of people who struggle with friends have had bad experiences before. So when it comes to trying to make new friends, then bad experiences might come back into your head. So for example, you might start thinking like, oh, I can't talk to people. Oh, last time I had a friend, I really upset him. And stuff like this might come back into your head, or like, oh, they picked on me. You know, it might come back and get into your head. So that will make you a lot more uptight, a lot more nervous and uneasy when you're socialising with new people. And finally, a lot of times we are massively misunderstood. That is one of the biggest things with autism, is so misunderstood, and a lot of people don't see it. So a lot of the times, a lot of things we do, we might not mean how they come across, or because we can't look someone in the eye, they might think we're not listening or taking in what we're saying, when it's not the case at all. So a lot of times we can be misunderstood with certain things, and people who don't know either that we have autism or fully what autism or Asperger's is, they might not pick up on it as much and just think like rather uninterested or arrogant and stuff like that, when we all know that is not the case. So now let's get into a bit that we know you are all here for: how you can make friends and meet new people if you have Asperger's or autism. So then, first thing, find people with similar interests. So one of the things on the spectrum is a lot of people tend to have like a main interest or something they are fascinated by a lot, and they put a lot of time and research into like finding more about that, or that's like all they want to do and talk about. So the thing is, it's not just people on the spectrum. There are a lot of people who might like be really interested in certain stuff. So a great way is to find other people who like the same things as you. So for example, if you're into like trains or computers, try and find other people who are interested in that. Ways you can do that, there are like your Facebook groups. So there's hundreds. So if you find kind of something that you're interested in, go into one of the groups and you can get talking to other people who have similar interests. Other ways are to go to places like that. So like, if it is trains, then you can go to like a train museum, and you never know, you might see people who want to have a chat about trains or stuff like that, or conventions, stuff like that. So yeah, try and find people who have similar interests to you, because we all know with friends, you'll get along a lot better if you all like the same things. So this next tip is kind of two combined into one. So this might seem a bit strange, but it is to meet up with your the friends that you already have and family members. The thing with this is because a lot of times if you're feeling like lonely or you don't have a lot of people, it's good to get around with people that you do have, because they'll remind you that you do matter and you do have people that you can talk to. But another reason is you can practice stuff like small talk, which is tip number 3. So what this will do is, because you're around people who you're comfy being around, this will allow you to, you'll kind of find, like when I were trying to meet new people and stuff like that, I found the people who I'm around the most, I were always like, I could talk to them a lot easier and stuff like that. Whereas like, that wasn't the case, I just shell up and not know what to speak about when I'm with other people. So yeah, that way you can kind of practice, get to practice on them, you can kind of figure out what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and you can kind of go off that to put together kind of a plan or such, so that when you do meet new people, you know what you can talk about, know what works for you. And just to follow on a bit from that point, what you can also do while you're with them is you can find out what topics you like talking about the most. So for example, if it is your specialist interest or stuff like that, you'll know kind of that you can talk about that a lot easier than you can talk about certain other stuff. So stuff like films, you might not know as much about. So, you know, it's like if people are talking about films, you might not know what to say, kind of. Whereas if you are talking about stuff like your hobby and stuff like that, you'll know more about what to say. So kind of figure out while you're with them as well, what stuff you like talking about and what stuff you could talk about a lot easier than if you weren't with your friends and you were with someone who you were trying to make friends with. Okay, next tip is to talk to other people with Aspergers Syndrome. So by talking to other people with Aspergers, you'll find that they might have, or autism, you will find that they might have a lot of similar experiences, as a lot have, because this has been a big request to make this video. So I know this can be the case for a lot of people wanting to make new friends. So a good way you can do this is Facebook groups. So like the other one, I'm an admin on the biggest in the world, so I'll link that down below. Go and click on it and join it. There's over 40,000 members in there, so hopefully you'll be able to find a good friend in there. There's also the page which is linked in there, over 350,000 members. So yep, go and click on them links and get talking to more people with Asperger's and autism. So next tip is to get out of your comfort zone. It might sound a bit harsh, but by getting out of your comfort zone, then you're going to find a lot more people, you're going to push yourself even more, and you're going to see kind of, I don't want to say see what you can do, but you're going to find a lot more people by doing that. Because I'm not going to lie, if you just sat in your room not kind of making an effort to meet new people, you're not going to meet new people. Whereas if you push yourself, it don't have to be massively, but say like you talk to one person or something like that, that's an improvement from talking to no one. So just try and push yourself a bit further, see what you really can do, see how many people you can talk to. Okay, next tip, when you're talking to people, I want you to think about this. I want you to think more, I'm talking to him to get to know him, whereas I'm talking to him to try and be friends. By getting to know him, like I say, there might not be a good match as a friend. So by getting to know them and just having that as your main kind of focus, you've not got that pressure as well of they have to be my friend. If they're not my friend, I'm not going to find anyone else who's my friend. So by doing this, it takes away that pressure, and yeah, it just helps you more to get to know them, because you can ask them more about the sens rather than keeping the topic on you. You can find out more about them, you'll know more about them, and then they're more likely to be a friend as well, because they'll be thinking, oh, they want to know a lot about me. So yep, so go into it thinking kind of, I want to get to know more about them, rather than going into it thinking, I'm going to try and make them my friend. And the final tip I'm going to share is just be yourself. The more you're yourself, the more people you'll kind of attract. There's no point trying to be fake, because if you try and fake something, people, they might not see it eventually, but eventually they're going to see through it and they're going to realise who the real you is, which isn't a bad thing, but if you kind of portray me as someone else from the start, it's going to be kind of a bit like, oh, they've changed, what's going on here? So yeah, just be yourself, and if you're being yourself, the right people will come into your life and they'll like you for you rather than who you're trying to be. So be yourself and you'll attract a lot more people. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. Thank you very much for watching. All the links to my social medias are down below. Also a link to online coaching and my new fitness plan, fitness, health and mental wealth. So if you want to improve your mental well-being through physical activity, click on the link and we can get started right now. So I'm going to leave the video there. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.